The photo.
Yeah, I mean, the conference has been great. This is my first Savant event. So, so Jody contacted me because I had been speaking at other events before. So she contacted me to say to come and speak at the event. I think each and every speaker, whether it is the panels, whether it is the keynote speaks, it's been absolutely phenomenal. There have been so many fantastic takeaways that we've had from each one of them. Even learning strategies around that, you would be looking at different strategies for different countries, for example, in China, as an example. Learning to sell on Amazon, which was the first speech today. So yeah, absolutely phenomenal. And such wonderful people around as well, I think I should add, because everybody is just so friendly, so helpful. So that just makes a really big difference, when you're at events like this. I think there I would say that different brands are at different levels, because if you consider a more considered purchase like, a holiday, or you're buying something luxury, it just depends on, how you would engage with your customers to actually support them to buy it. With normal day-to-day purchases, I think people don't really worry about that as much, because if it's a necessity, people will be buying it. So as a result of which, but I think the most important thing for e-commerce brands is to really consider the data that they currently hold about their customers, really understanding that data and actually seeing how they can get, if the customers are buying from them once, as an example. So from a restaurant's perspective, if a customer is visiting our restaurants only once, what can I actually do to entice them to visit a restaurant twice? So by doing that, automatically you will find that people within your database will become much more responsive than actually spending money to go out and buy or buy data, or to get new people, so as in acquiring customers, because the budgets for acquiring customers can be quite limited depending on the brand. So I think it's all about looking at your current data. I think in all of the, sort of keynote speaks and various panels, the data has become a key factor in terms of understanding that data and actually understanding which channels your customers are engaging with. So I think those two key factors would be the most important thing that e-commerce brands should consider. Yeah, I mean, every project that I've worked at Whitbread has been really exciting. This one's really close to my heart because, again, with limited budgets, cost of living crisis that we've spoken about, it's about how you can grow the brands organically. That I think is the key, because if you grow your brands organically and you establish yourself within Google, then you would automatically start getting, audiences, visitors, visits, whatever you want to call it, so I think it's all about, it's, as they say, the devil's in the detail. So it's about content building, making sure you understand your customers, build your content around those customers. And secondly, it's all about optimization, because optimization is key, because I think it's a non-stop cycle. You optimize for something today, it doesn't mean that it stops. You continue to optimize again and again and again. So I think growing the brand organically is one of the key projects that I'm working on currently. Yeah, so I come from a technical background. So I used to be a developer before. And then when the company that I was working for then, Fig Leaves, they actually formed their e-commerce department. So I was invited to be a part of that e-commerce department, leading it from more of a category management perspective. So that's how I landed into e-commerce. That was over 15 years ago. And I really enjoy working in different sort of sectors, whether it is hospitality, whether it's travel, whether it's retail. I really enjoy working, because at the end of the day, every brand is trying to actually drive some of their key KPIs, whether it's bookings, whether, revenue, whatever that might look like. But at the end of the day, what really gets me up is about creating that customer experience, because at the end of the day, there is so much potential in, digital technology advances all the time, which means that you've got newer ways to look at, how you can actually work with those customers. So yeah, digital disruption and technology is one of the key things, and I'm also very much into coaching and mentoring, so I really enjoy doing that with my colleagues. I think if we looked at sort of a 10-year sort of a way, I mean, the thing within 5 to 10 years, I think the most important thing, customer will be on the throne. If you're not working with your customers, really changing, you know, your brand requirements based on the customer's needs, I think those brands are going to suffer. So customer. Then I think going forward into various areas, it will be more around augmented reality, cryptocurrency, you know, more connected devices, so the Internet of Things, you know, so those are more of the things that we're going to see happening more and more. So connectivity is probably going to be the most important buzzword.